Okay, here's the 2019 NRL Round 10 review. We're starting with the Melbourne Storm versus the West Tigers. It was a hard-fought win, but the Melbourne Storm come out on top 24 points to 22. They're very good at winning these tight games. They back up with a big win over the Eels with a win over the Tigers, and a deserved win over the Tigers. The Melbourne Storm are showing why they are one of the most consistent sides in NRL history. They win a lot of games. They've got a win percentage of over 60%. Only the Broncos can match them for win percentage. So um, have been some signs this season that Melbourne Storm are showing a few cracks and creaks and a few weaknesses. But tight games is something the Melbourne Storm generally win, although they've lost a fair few. But to beat the Tigers, who can score, as proved in this game, it's a good result. I didn't catch this game, so I can only go by the scoreline. But the Melbourne Storm, most of the wins they've had, apart from the big win over the Eels, have been in these tightly fought games where it's sort of an arm wrestle. That suits the Melbourne Storm. If you want to beat the Melbourne Storm, you got to attack them earlier and make them chase the game. They don't like chasing the game. If you allow the Storm to control and dictate the pace, they're going to get you in an arm wrestle, and they generally win the arm wrestle. The Penrith Panthers versus the Warriors. The Panthers are in freefall. Absolutely atrocious form. Only winning 2 games all season. They have plummeted down the table. They lose 30 points to 10 to the Warriors. How long does Ivan Cleary have a job? That's the first question. Apparently, Weteni Zelezniak is on the way out. There's things going on at the club that aren't great. There's an atmosphere at the club that isn't great, and it's just watching a team of individuals play against an individuals field team. They have no sense of direction. They have no flow to their play. They're not scoring enough with the talent on display. They are just not good enough. Plain and simple. The Warriors are wildly inconsistent, but they put 30 points past the Panthers. So they're starting to find some form. They're starting to become more consistent. They're getting more wins than they were before. Going into the Origin period, the Warriors could pick up 2, 3, 4 wins here, climb up the table and become a contender for finals football. The Panthers are in disarray. I don't know how long Ivan Cleary can remain as coach. And there are rumours going around that players are unsettled and want out, and it's a mess at the Panthers. The Broncos got a good win over the Roosters. Obviously, we're talking a lot about the Roosters earlier with the Cooper Cronk video, and Ryan Hall debuted in this game. The Broncos have started now to hit a bit of form. There are still issues with the Broncos, absolutely. They've beaten 2 sides that have been injury prone, and the Roosters have a few injuries themselves. But the Roosters are high flying even with those injuries, and the Broncos managed to get a win against a top side. So Anthony Seibold, his message is starting to get across with this group of players. It's taken a long time. The Roosters, they had to lose at some point. They've won so many games in a row. They had to lose at some point, and they are human. The Roosters are human. The Broncos have a long way to go to catch up all the ground they've given up to their rivals. They've given a lot of their rivals a massive head start. I don't see the Broncos making finals footy, but at the same time, they've beaten the Roosters. That can give these players some confidence to take that next step. But there's going to be a tough road ahead for the Broncos. I think this is still a rebuilding season, but we'll have to see what happens. They might go on a long winning streak going into Origin and through the Origin period. So we have to wait and see with the Broncos. It's going to be interesting the next month or so. That could define their season. The Roosters, they had to lose at some point, and it's happened in round 10. But I expect the Roosters to bounce back pretty quick. The Titans losing 16 points to 22 to the Canterbury Bulldogs. The Bulldogs get that 3rd win of the season. They leapfrog the Titans. The Titans are in freefall. The Bulldogs, there's a bit of fight about them, and they are a young team. They are an inexperienced team, but there's fight about this side. Let's not kid ourselves. They are willing to throw the ball around and give it a go. The time will come with the quality improves and the experience is gained by these players, and they win more games than they lose. But they are fun to watch. Every game I've seen the Bulldogs play, they have been fun to watch. You don't know what to expect with them, but they are a young group, and it's going to take time to build their confidence up, to turn those defeats into wins, and to turn these wins that are close wins into big wins. And they'll make the progress necessary, but it's going to be a tough, long, hard slog. It's not going to happen overnight. The Titans, on the other hand, again, struggling like they do regularly. The Titans and the Panthers are trying to finish bottom. Who wants to get the wooden spoon this year? Because they are in freefall. They are in serious trouble, and there's a reason why they haven't made finals football for three years. Performances like this against a side who are struggling as well, with the quality that they have and the experience they have, they should be burying this Bulldog side, and they're not doing it. And that's an ongoing issue. They've only won 2 games this season. That is an ongoing issue. They lost the first 5 games of the season. This is an ongoing issue with the Titans. Is they go on these long losing streaks in between wins. And they have a lot of quality in that side, and I'm really surprised that they're not getting more wins out of this season, and they're not putting these performances in because they had the qualities there. The quality is there in the players. Now, very similar to the Panthers, they look like a team of individuals rather than individuals who make up a team. And I do not understand how they're going to fix this. I don't know how they're going to fix this. The North Queensland Cowboys defeating the Parramatta Eels 17 points to 10. Have the wheels come off the Eels? Has their explosive start to the season run its course and the momentum started to drop off? The Cowboys, they're picking up wins again. They're on the up. They've also got a long way to go if they are to make finals football. They've got to go on a winning streak. They're going to lose a lot of players to Origin, which is a problem. And that could cause a bit of a lot of shuffling in their lineup. But they have to go into the Origin period full of confidence. They have to get another couple of wins in there before Origin actually comes around. But beating the Eels 17 points to 10, you cannot sniff at that. They're starting to find a bit of confidence and a bit of form, and players like Jake Granville are crucial to that. Of course, I say this every week. Until they can put like a win streak of 4, 5, 6, 7 wins together, they're going to miss the impact that Jonathan Thurston would have had on this side. And until one of their halfbacks can put his hand up, Morgan or whoever partners Morgan can put their hand up and dictate play for 80 minutes a game consistently, and really not only dictate play, but also shout those instructions and give confidence to those outside backs and to those young, inexperienced players, they're going to be inconsistent. They've got to get a bit more consistency. They've got to get some wins together, and they've got to win well. And that's something the Cowboys haven't done this so far this season. The Eels, they've started to lose games. They are starting to struggle a little bit. They had that really explosive start of the season. They're not going to get the wooden spoon. I'm going to put that out there right now. This Eels side have really responded well to what happened last season, but they are starting to lose games. So the concern is they've got to stop this slide, because this could prove terminal to their season. If this slide continues and they start losing 4, 5, 6 games, then questions will be asked about the players that they have. Their home form is very, very good. It's their away form that is killing them. They have to fix that if they want to be in a chance of making, not only making finals football, but if they do get there, being competitive in the finals. The Raiders losing to the Rabbitohs. The Rabbitohs are a very, very good side. The Raiders lost 12 points to 16 at home. There are some injuries to the Raiders, but John Bateman has hinted that his comeback is sooner than expected to the British media. So it's going to be interesting to see, how they work him back into match fitness. Bear in mind he's had that eye injury. The Rabbitohs, they are a machine. Let's not kid ourselves here with the Rabbitohs. This side is an absolute machine. There's a reason why they are one of the form sides in the league at the moment, and possibly the best side in the league at the moment. I'm still going for a Roosters Rabbitohs grand final at this current point. But the Roosters have lost and the Rabbitohs have won this weekend. So the Rabbitohs, they've got bragging rights in Sydney at the moment. I can assure you of that. They are a dangerous side, and I think other teams, the Raiders pushed them close. It's not hide away from the fact that a weakened Raiders side pushed them all the way. But this Rabbitohs side, they look dangerous. They look like they could do what they did in 2014 and get to the final and win. And they've got some of their big players are stepping up and really leading. The Burgess brothers, all 3 of them, are really putting the effort in, and it's paying off. And other players as well are also putting their hands up, and they are responding to Wayne Bennett. They've grown from last year under Seabold. Seabold left the building blocks in place for Wayne Bennett to really grow this side. They are responding to the new voice in the changing room. They're responding to Wayne Bennett. It's paying off. That is, I would be hard pressed to bet against them if I was a betting man. Now we get on to the last two games that I have watched a fair bit of. The St George Illawarra Dragons are in free fall. The Newcastle Knights are going up the table. 4 wins in a row for the Knights, 4 losses in a row for the Dragons. The Dragons have been decimated by injury, lineup changes, and the off-field dramas are, I think, having a massive impact on the Dragons. They are in absolute freefall right now. The Newcastle Knights, Mitchell Pearce and Ponga, Caelan Ponga, are driving this side forward. Danny Levi's much improved consistency-wise. He's having a purple patch in his career. And the Newcastle Knights, David Clemmer, massive meters every game. They're on a massive win streak, and they scored 45 points for the first time in a very long time. Dominating the Dragons, absolutely dominating the Dragons. And they're climbing the table rapidly. And the Newcastle Knights could actually be an outside bet for finals football. The Dragons, they're in complete and utter freefall. Their form has deserted them. And when watching this game, it was one-way traffic for the majority of the game. Absolute one-way traffic. Mitchell Pearce and Ponga dictating the play, making the runs, drawing defenders in. The passing was brilliant. The kicking game was brilliant. The last play options were just on the ball. Defensively dominant. The Dragons losing that contact, getting driven back 4 or 5 metres. The Knights could have had more. And possibly should have had more. But on another day, they get 50. And the Newcastle Knights really have responded to their poor start to the season. And then the final game of the weekend was the Cronulla Sharks and the Manly Sea Eagles. The Sea Eagles came out winners by 24 points to 14 away from home. The Sea Eagles are under the radar, chipping away. They've lost a couple of games recently, but they've responded well to those losses with a win away from home. And the Cronulla Sharks are just inconsistent this season. They can beat the Melbourne Storm, but they lose to the Newcastle Knights, for example. They've lost the Knights round 1. They beat the Storm a couple of weekends ago. This is the issue with the Sharks. They are massively inconsistent, but injuries are plaguing them. Absolutely, injuries are having a massive, massive impact on their direction and results. The Sea Eagles, they are going very under the radar. They went on that long win streak, and they've bounced back from a defeat with another win. The Sea Eagles should not be underestimated. I know the Sea Eagles have a lot of injuries in their lineup. They're missing a lot of key players, but they are chipping away and they are a unit. They play for each other. The quality, individual quality, talent wise, may not be there, but the team unity and the direction the team is taking is there, and they are getting the wins. Where if that was another season, they wouldn't get those wins. So the Sea Eagles are a team to watch out for. They're going under the radar. So there we go. There's the round 10 review. I didn't get to watch as much of the NRL this past week that I would have liked, but hopefully there's more time now to watch as much of round 11 as possible. But that's round 10 out of the way. So thank you very much for watching. The round 11 preview will be up shortly. So I think you keep your eyes posted for that. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place those comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.